Hello, everyone. Melissa here. How are you doing today? A special welcome to you. If you're joining me live, let me know where you're joining me from. Right now, we're streaming on three places at once. So, wherever you're joining me, whichever platform you're joining me from, it's lovely to have you here with me again. Welcome to our seven-part series on the 7 steps to launching your online coaching business. If you're someone who's looking to launch your online coaching business, by following these 7 part series, you'll be able to get a framework, a good framework, a good idea of some of the basic and most important things that you need to get covered, some of the grounds that you need to get covered in taking that giant step. And it is definitely a wonderful and rewarding step indeed. It's lovely when you're doing something that you love and enjoy. That's the most important thing. What I love about running a coaching business, and any of you who have a coaching business or want to start one, I'm sure will say the exact same thing, is that it is something that you're passionate about, and it's something you love doing, and that in itself alone is rewarding. You enjoy what you do, whether you are weight fitness and weight loss coach, whether you are consultant, a business consultant, whether you are a confidence coach, a master life coach, whatever coach you call yourself or would like to be, it is something that's quite rewarding when you're doing something that you love. So welcome to step 3, right? Now, step 1, we covered finding your deep why. If you missed step 1, go back and check out that video, check out that training, because it's important before you take that leap that you are starting everything, you're launching into this for the right reasons. And your deep why is also connected to your passion, and that in itself will be the inner drive that you need in doing everything that you do in your coaching business. Step 2, if you missed it, that was yesterday, we covered how you would help your clients. So you want to start a coaching business, you want to launch a coaching business, or perhaps you already have one and you're merely watching this training just to see if you have the right framework in place or if there's something that you're missing or need to tweak. But what's important in step 2, we covered defining how you want to help your client, and by so doing, you're choosing your niche, and that the real secret was in sub niching. And we also talked about gratification flow and profit, that whichever way you choose that you want to help your ideal client, it should be in a way that you enjoy, something you love doing, you're passionate about it, you get into flow when you're working, and it's also profitable. So welcome to day 3. Step 3, we're going to address a mistake that is made by many coaches. And it is taking the time to understand your ideal client. Taking the time really to understand who you serve, the type of client you want to work with. Because if you don't do so, it is quite possible to design coaching programs that never sell. It's quite possible to launch courses that don't sell. It's quite possible to host webinars that don't convert, and the list goes on, because you don't really understand who you are serving. Of course, there could be many other factors in play, but one of the common factors that I find with clients is that quite typically they don't understand who they are serving. Now, the process of understanding who you're serving is simply called creating your ID client avatar, and that's an essential part of any business that you have. When you understand, when you create your avatar, you're able to understand who you're serving, recognize your ideal client. So if you're in Facebook groups and you're interacting and engaging in Facebook groups, it's quite easy to recognize that this person that I'm chatting with, or the way that this person has created their post, this person fits my ideal client profile. You'll be able to appeal to your ideal client, they will download your free resource, and of course eventually buy from you. So today, what I want to share is basically your task in step 3 is to create your ideal client avatar. But before you launch into that, what many coaches need to grasp is why you're creating this avatar, right? You don't, you're not typically or just only doing it for, oh, for this client to buy from me. I want my clients to buy from me, to join my program. Of course, your ultimate aim is to get those clients to work with you so you can change their life. You can help them to better their life or their business or whichever area that you're helping them in. But most typically, it's important to understand the various reasons where this information comes in quite handy and necessary in your coaching business. So let's start with paid traffic. If you know your avatar, you'll be able to determine which ad platform to use and the relevant targeting options. So depending on your avatar, you know that okay, my ideal clients typically hang out on Instagram. So maybe you have a designing business, you have a graphics design business, and your ideal clients typically hang out on Instagram. So it makes no sense for you to be spending all your time on LinkedIn, for instance, when your ideal clients are on Instagram, and the best way to reach them is to run Instagram ads. So hence creating an avatar will be able to give you that insightful information because you would know which ad platform to use and what targeting options, right? The age groups and the demographics, and we'll get to that. Then we can talk about product creation. If you know your avatar, you can easily create products that respond to their needs because it solves the pain points that your client has. So when you create a product, whether it be an online course, whether it's a coaching program itself, whether it be what else can we come up with? An ebook, a guide, a resource, whatever it is that you create, your ideal client will buy from you because that actually responds to their key pain point. Let's talk about content marketing. If you know your avatar, you'll be able to know what type of content to write, how to write that content. Whether you're creating videos or designing lead magnets or you're writing blog posts, you will be able to target your ideal clients in your content marketing. Copywriting, this goes without saying, right? You'll be able to describe and present your offers in a way that appeals to your client. Hence, another reason why you definitely need to get this solved. So, if you're a coach, for instance, and you're having trouble selling your coaching program, maybe you need to take a look at your ICA and ask myself, do I know who I'm serving? Another thing is your email marketing. For those of you, if you already have a coaching business but you don't have an email list, you need to take time to start building your email list. For those of you launching, this is something that should also be a priority for you. So when you have your email list of subscribers, if you understand your ideal client, you will know exactly how to write emails that convert so you can get higher open and conversion rates. And these are various reasons why understanding your ideal clients will benefit you in your coaching business. Now, some of you may already have clients, worked with several clients, and therefore you have a some understanding of what your ICA looks like. That's really great. Some of you, you're completely new and it's a really new activity for you. Whichever category you find yourself in, if you decide that you want to engage in this ICA exercise, then take the time so you can gain the clarity that you need as you create your ideal client avatar. It's really, really important to do this step. It's one of the reasons why you scrolled on Facebook today or yesterday and saw that ad and clicked on it, right? Because they have created a profile about the type of clients that they want to reach, the type of customers that they want to reach, and you fit the category perfectly and did just what they intended, clicked that button, right? So, for you as well in your own business, you need to do the same in your own business. So, if you want to create your IC, I'm going to give you a guide. Draw a stick man or a stick woman, or you could simply go onto the internet and download a photo, a picture of what your ideal client looks like. And you know what's amazing about this is that I don't know if it's the power, if it's the law of attraction. I don't know if it is, I don't know what name to put to it. But what I find amazing is quite often, even with my clients, they've said this to me. What I find amazing is quite often when you do this exercise, you tend to get the ideal client. You know, my last client I worked with, married with family, have two kids, just as I have in my IC profile. So you find it's really, really intriguing. Can you relate to this? Do you find the same? If you're watching me, if you're watching the replay or you're watching live and you're a coach, can you also relate to the ideal client showing up to work with you as you created in your ICA exercise? Is this something that you can also relate to? So once you've drawn the stick man, the stick woman, and or you've downloaded the photo, here are some possible questions you want to answer. And if you're completely new, then you can simply ask yourself this: do I prefer to work with men or women or both? So depending on what you're doing, maybe you're a weight loss coach and you prefer to work with women, right? What would be some of the demographic information? Age, give the avatar a name, for instance, gender, marital status, income, job title, any assets. What assets do they possess? Do they own a vehicle? Do they own a home? So really paint that demographic, profile. So say for instance, you might be a weight loss coach that prefers to work with women over 40. So you really dig deep and create the profile that you want of the type of person that you want to work with. Next, what are some of the key characteristics that you will look for in that type of person that you enjoy working with? You want that person to be an action taker. You want that person to be committed. You want that person to be serious, taking action, willing to do what it takes, have perseverance. What are some of the characteristics, the key characteristics that you would look for? Somebody who is determined to succeed, not on making excuses. What would be some of the fears that that person struggle with? So depending on the niche that you're in, what are some of the fears, the typical fears? Afraid of failing, afraid of being laughed at everyone. What are some of those fears? What would be some possible challenges or pain points that they may be experiencing? What are some of the challenges? What's keeping them up at night? What are they experiencing? Maybe you're in the weight loss niche, and what's keeping them up at night is that discomfort that they feel in their body, their body image, and they're worried about how others perceive them. And because of that, they're overeating. And after they overeat, they feel so bad. They feel guilty. They're buried in guilt. What's keeping them up at night? What's bothering them? What's their main challenge? Or what are the main challenges that they're facing? What would be some of their possible goals and dreams? They desire a healthy life, to be fit, the fittest they've been in their life. Or that person desires to be a coach if he's serving coaches, earning 5K per month or 10K per month, want to buy their home, want to have more assets, want to have good relationships if you're a relationship coach, want to get married. So, what are some of their possible goals and dreams? And I'm telling you, when you do this exercise, what's quite intriguing is that quite often your ideal client, the person you end up working with, they fit different aspects of your ICU. What would they like? What do they like to read? What would be some of their favorite sources of information? And again, this is also good because what you find here is that when you creating ads, when you're creating paid ads, you're able to better target your audience. So this is really, really important. How do they typically speak about their problem? Now, for this one, what I do personally is I go into the Facebook groups and I do a sort of research, my own research, and I read some of the posts. And when they talk about the problems, and I will take excerpts like keywords or just key phrases and insert that into a document. And this gives me an idea of how the words that the language that they typically use when they talk about the problem, right? That's really important because you can insert that language now when you're writing your copy. So when you're writing your sales page, or you're writing emails, or you're writing you're designing an opt-in page or anything of that sort, or even an ebook, be able to insert those keywords in there because that is how your ideal client typically speaks about his or her problem, right? Can you identify? Now, here's one you don't always see or hear others speak about. Can you identify any reasons why your ideal client avatar will not want to purchase your product or service? And this is a very good aspect to nail in creating your ICA. Why wouldn't that person want to buy from you? What could be an obstacle for them? And you write that down. What could be an obstacle for them? Why they wouldn't want to buy from you? Perhaps, for instance, if you're launching your online coaching business, you may think that okay, I'm a new coach. Or perhaps you've just gotten your certification, your coaching certification, and you're thinking, okay, I'm a new coach. He or she may not want to buy from me, work with me because they might think I'm incompetent or not capable, which of course is definitely not the case. And then what happens when you answer this question, when you perform that self examination and you answer this question as to why this individual may not buy from you, you're able to respond to those objections in your sales copy right away. So, although I've got my coaching certification in 2019, I have been a manager for 10 years, managing staff, or I have been, and you're able to respond. You don't have to write it that way. I'm just giving an example, but you're able to respond to those objections in your sales copy, right? And that, of course, helps in getting them to say yes quicker to whatever it is that you're offering. So if you're really, really serious about launching your online coaching business, then do step 3. If you're a coach and you're struggling, perhaps you need to take the time to revisit, because one thing you should understand about the ID client avatar is that it's not a static thing. It's not static. It's something that you have to revisit from time to time. So perhaps you find yourself now you've worked with like 10 clients, 20 clients, and you have a good understanding of the avatar, and you realize your avatar has kind of changed. You need to revisit and tweak that right now so you could update your avatar and use that updated profile now in your ads, in your copy, in your email marketing, in your content marketing, etc. Does that make sense? Right? So creating your ID client avatar is not a static process. You revisit it from time to time when the need see fits. So good, awesome. So I hope you enjoyed today's training. Step 3, go ahead, run with it, have fun with the exercise because you can totally do it. Bye for now, and I'll see you again tomorrow.